Welcome to Module 2 of the Australian Special Forces Active Shooter modules. The first module, we went over a discussion of active shooters, things to consider, where your situational awareness should be, all of that. And now we're going to be doing scenarios. Taft Davies, the Australian SAS operator, was the person that did the first module, and this module is going to be mostly Paul Kale from 2 Commando. And Paul will be going over scenarios that were there. I listened to a lot of the information that he puts out. You may need to listen to it a couple of times because of the accent, but you'll get it. There's a lot. This is a really dense module, and there's a lot of good information here. And Paul keeps it very entertaining. He's a very funny individual. So I hope you enjoy it. Listen, I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. But before we do that, please subscribe. Please share this. Please hit the notification bell and make your comments. I got a lot of great comments on the first module. And again, as I told you, I have a lot of active shooter material that I'll be sharing on the channel over time. This is my first my first modules that I wanted you to share, and they're pretty unique. So let's get to it.
Where do you reckon it was when I last heard shots fired? Yeah. When I last heard shots fired. You want me to say Afghanistan, don't you? But I came to America. So I was visiting Colorado, friends in Colorado, and I hear... Now, I didn't lose my mind because I'm in America. I know people hunt and do stuff, and we're in the country area, okay? But I did get up and listen to see if I can hear crack thump, see where the rounds are coming at me. Does anyone understand what I mean by crack thump? Anyone been shot at? No? It might be a good idea to do that sometime, put them in a little pit and shoot over their heads. That'd be good. Okay, so what that is especially if you get down the butts where you can't be hit, and you hear shots come over your head, there's a crack of the shot and then the thump of it going through the air. That's where you start, the difference between and you hear that. Watch Private Ryan. It's fucking phenomenal how well they got that. It's that metal traveling close through the air. You can hear a crack, thump, and that's the metal traveling through the air towards you. Okay? That is actually how we indicate where stuff's coming from, who they're shooting at. We listen to the shot, what direction it's going. It's not going at me. Maybe he doesn't see me, boom, flank, whatever. See what I mean? It's a bit to that. Okay, now.
Right. The closer the crack is to the thump, the closer the shooter is.
Yeah, the closer the shooter is.
Because it's the sound, the supersonic round is actually breaking the sound barrier, and you're hearing the round land, and then you're hearing the actual break in the sound. And you can judge roughly how far away it is by the distance between the two.
So that was just a hunter up in the hills shooting. There was nothing. There was no crack thump, just crack. Okay. Shots are fired. Sounds like it's in the building. It's coming from that direction. Go.
Hey, everybody, you heard shots. We're going out.
Ooh, what about the other door? What's that?
Got my shoes.
Steady. Come in. Come in. Come on in.
I don't want him hitting me with that thing. Not that dude.
Yeah. Okay, this flank over here. Someone tell me what's going on over here.
I went and checked that door, using it as cover, and kind of peek this way, like staying out of the door itself as much as possible.
Yep.
And then thought it was clear this way, and then someone else checked here and called it clear, so this way.
Yep, no worries. This flank here, what was going on?
Shots inside the building, so started to block the door. Got ready to lock the door, of course.
Yep.
Make sure that if they came in, they had some problems.
Yep.
Probably after that, that way.
Yep, no worries.
My phone and my gun's in the car right over there.
Nice, good. Perfect. God bless America. Now, you barricaded the door because you did what? Did you have to open the door to know which way that opened?
No.
No. You did a door appreciation, so you know that if you barricade, the door comes towards you. Do you see why you need door appreciation? What if that's a sliding door? What I'm saying is you just have to adapt, but you need to make door appreciations so you don't have the embarrassing situation of, yeah, you put something there, they open and look at you, and boom. Now, I just want you to have a look at something. Come on over here. It's all good, all good. All good so far. Now, Tappy is going to be on the other side of this door. He's going to just open it slowly. Yep. He's going to open it. Now, if I'm going to set myself up, yeah, I've got something in my hand, whatever. Boom. What side of that door would I stand? Do you think? Would I stand? Okay, go again. Would I stand here? Why? Okay. Would I stand here? Oh, will it? No, seriously. Tell me. Okay. Now, make full use of any available weapon. Now imagine if his hand had the rifle or pistol out here. Sorry, man, thanks. Imagine, because that's what I'm waiting for, that crack in that line, because I guarantee he won't bang that door open. And if he does, I don't give a shit, fine.
Oh, really?
Shit. Sorry, Tim. Anything break?
No.
All right, I'll stop hitting it so hard. But you can see the force you can get. That's a friggin' weapon. Everything's a goddamn weapon. Everything. Everything. They're everywhere. There's weapons, weapons, weapons. All of a sudden, that hand comes through. I'm going to ram that into his face and boom. And somehow his hand's like that. I'm just going to say thanks for your gun. Probably shoot him in the hand because that's just funny. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying. You understand? Yes, I agree. I would not stand there because the first thing he sees is that firearm. When I check the doors, you can see what I'm doing. Now, the dude running around being a lunatic isn't likely to do that. But this dude's really getting on, you know. But what am I doing when I do this? I'm pieing. I'm pieing the door, right?
Pieing.
Yeah, just someone stand next to her and repeat things. So, the first thing I can see is going to be, and that's the door going this way.
Did you break it?
Did I break it? No, good. No. It's going to be this way. I can see there. The first thing that cracks, and I'm looking through here. Everyone got that? Mm-hmm. Look what my weapon is. I'm not putting it forward or anything like that. It's here next to me. It doesn't need to, that round is not going to hit him really any faster. Yeah? So I'm like this. If someone belts that door, my weapon's not getting hit. I'm doing the opposite to what I just did to him. Mm-hmm. Right? Because I'm trained, so I'm here. Now I'm controlling the door with my body and I'm keeping it here. I'm not popping it out. I'm not going, hey, there's a gun out here. There is nothing, my body's not cracking that threshold. I can shoot across from that threshold. So now what haven't I cleared visually? What part haven't I cleared? So I've cut about here, yeah? There, yeah? So when I do that, it's a dynamic move. Everyone know what I mean by a dynamic move? Okay, it's that. Because it's that ready to shoot. That's the only part. I've just visually done all that. So instead of coming in here going, huzzah! You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm going to get shot. Or I could be shot. Two persons. Yeah. So when we set the doors, when we open doors, do you want to cover off the door as a cover man? Yep. So who's got another firearm?
You're holding your firearm in the ready position.
Oh, always. Yes. All right. Bomb. Shotgun, shotgun, shotgun. Go. Make sense? So that's how two of us are doing it. So now what do I do as an individual? I duplicate what I would do with two. I don't have that cover man, so I become my own cover man. But I've got to crack the door because I don't want the door to get in my way. So now, where was the cover man? Okay. Get the idea?
What if there's two of us and only one firearm? I get the door. I'm the doorman. That's it. And there's no other choice. So as we approach, we've already decided. And the time it takes us to walk from there to there, I've got a gun, no problem. So I'm then the doorman. It's pointless me doing anything other than hold that door because I can't. And then I'm going to get there. Paul clears to the next door. All right, he's gone up front. Pointless me going in front. When he gets to the next door, he's in that cover position before I'm in position because if he's standing there and this door starts to open, we've got a gun on the door. Yeah, and then I'm falling in behind to open the next door. He's up front, I'm behind. We get to the next door, he's covering the door.
Clear.
I step into the door position and I open. So that's how we move as a pair with one gun.
Now the opposite way. So you can see right here, yeah? Down there, probably not. All right? Now, what's the problem with this scenario? Yeah. Fuck. I hope I don't break this.
Don't break it.
I won't do it too hard, all right? I don't bust it. I'm actually doing the opposite thing. All right?
Fuck.
You see the difference? I'm dealing with that. That is now, that's my weapon going, boom. But I can hit that and then I still pine. Okay? But yeah, I'm not going to give him the chance to belt me backwards. So I deal with that. So everything I'm dealing with is worst case scenario. A lot of thinking going on, huh?
Just pie again from here with the door open so they can see. So when we're talking about pie,
If I come from here, it's going to be that way. If I come from there, it's going to be that way.
imagine Paul's muzzle now. His muzzle's pointing at me. Now, as he moves, don't come through. Just walk around the. Yeah. Now he's covered this much, this much, this much. He can clear almost the entire room with his angles from that side of the door. Yeah. So when you're talking about pieing, it's about having the best vision of the room you're about to walk into before you actually crack that threshold.
Because when you come here, this is what we call the fatal funnel. This is where you get shot. Because where does everyone train their gun? Like you all did if you had a gun. Okay. Exactly.
Yes.
So, oh, tum tum. I'm firing on you now, see? Oh, gun, tum tum. Get the idea? And I'm not doing this because I'm learning how to shoot at the target range. Yeah? I'm not doing that. And what else have I got? You open up with a PKM or something, shit, boom, boom. Make sense? Got the cover, I can withdraw. No problem. The other thing too is, if I spot you, oh, you'll like this, maybe. It's good when there's rounds coming out because it really gives you a sense of something. Okay, so that's doors, yeah? Look at the wall. Sort of jump over this way a bit. Okay. First thing is, don't get too close to walls. Why? Ricochet. Rounds travel down walls, okay? So I'm out, but don't get too far away. But what I'll do is I'll cut out so I can see as much around that corner as possible. And then once I've done that, I come back in. Dynamic move. All right? So again, I'm pieing around that corner. I'm pieing around the corner. There's the target. And I've got this cover right here. It doesn't look like it. To you, you go, oh, no, that's
I can
cover.
just see him there.
Not
He's
just
coming
concealment,
in
that's
my view.
cover. So from there, I can put rounds into him. That wall is actually cutting half his body out of the way there. and I can put rounds into him, no problem. If he shot at me, he wouldn't hit me. I don't need to be like this to have cover.
I understand.
Yeah.
But that wall's not going to stop it.
Depends what size round it is. Depends what size round it is. It certainly is going to change the trajectory. of the round.
What is it going to do? Guaranteed, regardless of the rounds, it's going to give concealment, cover, concealment. If I'm here and Paul does it like that, even if I'm like this, where am I expecting? Yeah, I'm expecting him right here. That's where I'm expecting him to come. That fraction of a second, that 2 or 3 feet is enough. He's coming around that corner, gun up, ready to go. And I'm looking in the wrong spot. It's only that much, but it's enough to make that difference.
And on top of that, if he fired, I come in here, I fired, okay? You'd be really surprised. Jump over here. Stand here, and where you see me pop out, just stand there and aim your gun because you're going to kill me because I'm going to pop out again. So you're predicting where I am. As soon as you see me, you go, oh, there he is. All right? This works really well with paint because you get a sense of the effect. Okay? Okay, now he's point the gun, like extend it where I'm going to come from, yeah? It's always going to be where I was. And I'm always coming out from somewhere else. Now that's great even with a shotgun. But from here, I can go like that and go actually fire the weapon before I even come around. Because I saw him, I actually know where he is. I can point where he is. He's standing there. Boom, 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 boom.
That's so. To flip this around, what can he do now? Bearing in mind, I'm thinking there's a threat going to come around that corner. What can he do to mitigate? Yes, kneel down. Yes. Now we're thinking. Because what's he going to do? Untrained, come around the corner. Where's his gun going to be? Up there.
But you can see how much. We're just showing you some stuff, but it's not just point and shoot down that piece of paper.
Cheers, mate.
There's so much to it, and people see with these, and people. Oh, geez, I just saw him. I shot at him. I'm ready for you. I'm ready. No worries. Boom, bang, straight underneath. Yep. Yep. If they're entering, okay, first of all, it's my home, okay? Who has the advantage? Why? You need to be intimate with your house. Intimate. So when something's going, you know every way to get around that house. Do you know what I would do? I'd make sure the lights are off. If it's daytime, it's fine, but I would already have planned out. If something came from there, I'll conceal myself there. You can set the place up. You can make sure you've got a barrier. You can make sure you've got a firing platform. It's your house. You know what's going on. If it came from that way, I'm going to put myself here. Here's my gun already pre-positioned. Now I get to here, get my gun. The thing is, the issue that I find Americans have, the questions that I find, is do I put a loaded gun and hide it somewhere that kids might find, or do I have it in the safe? I actually recommend there's some products that you can see that actually conceal weapons, and you only can access it, you know, like behind a mirror type thing, and there's actually concealment and different stuff like that. If you want to be serious about your home defense, you've got the advantage of that weapon not being accessible by someone, but you can access it yourself when you need it. So I would recommend something like that.
Part of coming back to this domestic, one of the things the questions that we're getting a lot, this domestic protection course that we're talking about, a lot of the questions that we get relate back to that. I spent a couple of days with some of Tim's clients the other day in their house in Vegas, walking through the house with him and his wife, explaining a few bits and pieces, because he's got a threat. He genuinely got a threat, and he said, can you come and have a look? And we looked at where the baby sleeps, where they sleep, where they're bedded, what's in relation to the window, how the house
What the bodyguards were doing.
What the bodyguards were doing.
Which was, get rid of your bodyguards.
You know, and how... and again, it starts from the time you get to the house. So they want me to assess the house. So there behind me. I walked up and I put my hands, I'm looking through the window. And there's this big 300-pound Samoan guy texting on his phone. He looked up and he saw me and went, I've never been to that house before. We went in, we're doing around the house. Keith came to pick me up, pulls up out the front in a black Chevy Tahoe. Another one of the 300-pound Samoans is sitting in the car outside. Keith pulls up. Don't know who Keith is. Keith's never been there before. Didn't get out of the Keith pulled into the driveway and parked at the house. So, you know, big scary guys covered in tattoos, 300 pounds, awesome. Terrible at their job. But where we were in the house, it was just a matter of looking at the house. And we walked up to it. It's in a gated estate, nice big house. And straight away it was, okay, we can assume that a person's going to get into the house. Why? Oh, because of this. There's access points from the external, outside of the house on all four sides of the house and the second floor. The doors are crap. This is crap, that's crap. There's no deadbolts on anything. The baby sleeps in a different room to you two. You know, and it was just looking at that, without walking in there with no pro forma to go through, just common sense, or what we take as common sense from our training.
Yeah, common sense if you're a domestic counter-terrorist.
It was this, and there were so many things, and that was half an hour. And he's building a new house, and he is going to change the layout of the house based on some of the input. So I think there genuinely is, like even what we're doing now, it would be fantastic to have a husband and wife team. In their own house would be great, you know? But if we can't do it in the house, doing it here, teaching them how to move. If both of you have got a gun, have you ever shot together? Have you ever shot when one of you is in front of the other one? Probably not. So you get them shooting together, get them shooting from positions that now seem uncomfortable, teaching them to move together, teaching them how to open a door together. You know, I think,
or son and dad.
yeah,
or
son,
whatever,
dad, wife, whatever it is.
Or roommate and roommate.
Husband and wife. Then let's put a 9-year-old child in there. Where do they fit into that team? Well, they don't. They go behind, but they can still do things. You know, and this is how we go. You know, my wife carries a gun here. Well, how can I access that gun if she's the first person and she gets grabbed? Well, is it plausible for me to then draw her weapon and use that? You know, if I'm giving her a command, is she going to drop? Is there a word? One of the things we're dealing with in this house is a phrase that the husband and wife have, so that if we're in different rooms and she calls me, I know it's a duress situation. All right?
Tell your husband to come out.
Yeah. He's sitting there.
Hey, John.
You know, my name's not John.
name's
So I
not
know.
John, you know.
It's a duress. Whatever the phrase is, it's a duress situation. Oh, we've got the safe room when we do this. Awesome. When does she open the door? Oh, when I tell her to. Tell her to open the door. Again, a duress situation. She's on that side of the door. I say something that we've already discussed, so she knows that she shouldn't open the door. Don't make a sound, because it's a duress situation.
You're complying, so you're doing what they're asking. They're just not coming.
We talked about the safe room. What are you going to do when you get in? Oh, I'm going to ring the police. Where's your phone? Right now, where's your phone? Beside the
kitchen.
bed. Have you got a phone in your safe room? Which was a wardrobe kind of... Oh, no. What's the point of running in there then? Thinking about these. Again, what are we doing? Visualizing, perception, wargaming, thinking through a situation before it happens, so we've got contingencies. Contingency planning.
So the big Samoan, 300-pound Samoan, with the purple mohawk, whatever, what's that? Especially
Posturing.
rock stars do it all the time. They just want that big posture in there. They're not going to protect you from shit. Do you know what I mean? If there's a threat, you need to get people who understand how to deal with threat, real threat.
Yes, sir.
Going back to the original scenario when you said everybody make a decision, I hear 2 loud gunshots out front. I know they're there.
Out front where? Out front the building?
Well, they're out the other side of this wall.
Okay.
Loud.
Yep.
Perhaps a rifle. Just, why would I want to run over here other than to lock the door and put obstacles and stay there? I have, it's like rifle bullets, 357s go through walls and through people. Why would I stay there? I mean,
So why would
grab
you?
a bat or, I mean.
Why would you?
That's what I want to know. Why?
Well, why would you?
I would.
But why would you?
That's my question. I don't know.
But you tell me, why would you?
Because your kids are on the other side.
Let's say there's a wall behind you, there's no exit.
True,
Why?
yeah. In this scenario
not-
right here.
How long is it going to take you to get from there to there? A couple of seconds? How far away from that door is he?
Good question.
Is he going to come through that door with a rifle just as you silhouetted yourself against that nice pale wall back there?
Well, we recently had a situation in a little school where this guy goes through with a rifle and just wipes out a bunch of people. And, you know, you're in a room with the teachers, you lock their, I mean, that's a real life situation. I mean, I hear somebody outside shooting, going down the halls, secure the door and then get out.
Yeah, with schools, you know, you have I think it's a no gun policy in all your schools. So obviously everyone that's insane is running through schools with a gun. Do you have security in schools?
Not with guns.
Yeah, that's the big debate.
Yeah,
at the
so,
moment.
you know, the fact is, like, whether you like it or not, there's guns in America, lots of guns in America. People are running through schools. I don't believe in going, here's to a teacher, here's a gun. Because we're talking about capacity of violence already. But your security, maybe. Like, you know, you got to stop making it. Yeah, you need to then probably have a school policing type thing or something. I don't know. Look, there's a lot of veterans coming back would love to have a job.
To answer your question, you can justify either action. You know, and until you're there,
I think you had veterans.
if you
stand
get
on
out the
doors.
back before he comes through and you're gone and you're safe, then it was the right decision. If you get shot going out that door because you mistimed it, it was the wrong decision. If you sit there and catch him as he comes through the door because his muzzle comes through first, you've got your hands on the gun and you deal with the situation, it was the right decision. If you stay there and he comes through that door when you're facing that door and shoots you, it was the wrong decision. You know, you can justify it either way. And that's why we're giving you that's why we're not jumping up, swarming the door, because it might not be the right answer. We're giving you the tools.
So if we teach you that, what are you going to do? You're going to jump up, swarm the door. Will you sit back and make an appreciation of the situation? No, you'll jump up, swarm the door. Why? Because you sync to your level of training.
Sync to your level of training.
Think to the level.
You are really struggling with me, aren't you?
So that's why the thought process. It's not airy-fairy. We want you to think about it because the answers are there. We just have to put you in the right situation and make you comfortable thinking about them, going through the thought process to solve it yourself. Because we're probably not going to be there. But guaranteed we're not
we
going to
probably won't be there.
And if we are, we're hiding behind all you guys anyway. So you know.
But people like us will be there after the fact,
Yeah.
like if we're coming. But the thing is, you can't just sit back and wait for the cavalry. Set yourself up in the best possible survivable position and then let the cavalry come.
Just want to digress slightly. When you guys barricaded this door, did you actually lock it?
Yeah, locked and barricade. What we just did then is, you know, if you did that in a restaurant or something, it'd look weird, wouldn't it? If we just walked in a restaurant and said, okay, shots are fired out front, act. You know, people would be freaking out. What stops you from not being able to do that in your mind? Sitting down at that seat, you're going to start choosing where you sit in the restaurant. I can't sit in places that make me uncomfortable. It's an unconscious thing for me now. Right now for you, it's going to be tiring. Because you'll forget to do it and you'll go, oh, I meant to be practicing this. I do it all the time. I can't help myself. I feel wrong if I sit down. You ask my wife. If I sit down somewhere and go, honey, I can't sit there, she doesn't even question. She just goes, where do you want to sit, honey? I want to sit there. Okay. Because she knows I'm protecting her. You know what I mean? I got to sit. I want to have my back to that wall. I want to be able to see the entry point. I want to know where the other exit is. I'll go to the toilet. First thing I do when I get to a restaurant is go to the toilet. Why do you reckon I go to the toilet? I'm actually looking through the kitchen. I'm checking the whole place out. I'm doing what I do as a bodyguard. I scan, check out the building. Why wouldn't I do that? Come back, I know the layout, what's going on. As soon as there's shot fire, I already know this layout of the place. Do you see? It just takes that little bit of time to practice doing it. And if you give yourself the scenario and the blueprint, your action will be quick. And I hate to say this, but it's the fact. Other people in that restaurant will be distractions to help you achieve getting out alive with your family. You can't save them all. You can't scream out over here because as soon as you do that, you're going to get shot. But they will be distractions by crazy, erratic behaviour. But you're serious about surviving, so you do the training. Got it?
Well, I hope you enjoyed that module. Now, part 1 and 2, if you haven't seen part 1, please go back and see part 1. But that is part of a total product. People were asking, hey, is that a product? That's just one module from the product. The product's called Extreme Close Combat Shooting. we'll put the link in, in here if you'd like to see the rest of the product. These guys are outstanding. They put in a really unique close quarters shooting program that was adopted by a lot of the special operations community, and it's fairly straightforward. It's you should be a little familiar with your firearms before you do this course, but it's outstanding material, and these guys are just great instructors. I'm really looking forward to having Taft come back and do some additional training in the future, and I'll make sure that everybody is aware of when we're doing the training and what it'll entail. But I wanted to start out with their perspective because they're very thoughtful on how they do things, and they're very Socratic in their methods. They ask a lot of questions. They force you to answer questions. They force you to justify why you're doing what you're doing. That's it. You want that thinking to go. What they're trying to do is they're trying to give you skill sets. If you listen to these 2 modules and start applying some of this, you can apply it literally, in your daily life when you're going to a restaurant, when you're going to the DMV, when you're going to the parking lot. It's just easy for you to practice situational awareness so it becomes a habit. And that is half the battle in understanding it. There's more things to talk about when it comes to active shooters, and I will share that in the future. But I wanted to, like I said, start out with that because I think this gives you some usable takeaways that you can start practicing right now. Don't need any equipment, don't need anything other than your mind to get it going. But I'm looking forward to your comments. Let me know what you thought of the whole program now. You saw parts 1 and 2, and please, any questions that you have, send them our way. Anyways, have a great week.